Hi, this is Rúna, and you're listening to the Changemakers podcast, where we share tips, insight, tools, and stories from other changemakers designed to motivate you to become the change you want to see in your world. Make sure you join our Changemakers community at runamagnus.com/podcast. And now, this is your time to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Susanne Frandsen, one of the changemakers. In this episode, you're going to be learning quite a lot about why you are in a box, how to get out of it, and what does it mean to go right into the zero zone in life. You're going to love this episode. Hey, this is Susanne Frandsen, and you're listening to the Changemakers podcast. Susanne, sometimes it can really feel like change is never going to happen. Can you elaborate with us? What are the phases of change?
I'd love to. And you're absolutely right. People do get very impatient with their change processes. And especially people like ourselves who are very used to being very performance oriented. We like to see things happen fast. But what I would like to introduce you to is a framework of change developed by the theory father, Otto Scharmer. I don't know if you know of him, but he has a very elaborate framework. I'm just going to introduce you to a very small part of it because I think it has helped many of my clients and myself in establishing where am I and isn't anything happening, I want to get progress into it. So I'm going to show you a little drawing here, and I know that people just listening cannot see this drawing, but I'm going to elaborate on it as we go. So I've drawn a U here. Hopefully you can see it. And what Sharma says is that what we're all seeking is to go to the bottom of the U here, where we are connected to source. Mm-hmm. And where we are always clear about what is my next best step, what is calling for me from the future. Now, we would all just love to jump into the puddle here, right? But we have just a couple of phases to go there. And he says that we're all starting here at the top, which says downloading, that we are all a product of programs that we have been installed into. We're talking much about the boxes, and these are all the boxes. Downloading all the boxes, wherever you're from, right? So we have to, in order for us to go from the downloading to the bottom of the U, where we have let go of everything and just being present in the now, we have to first encounter the open mind phase. So we have to be willing to open our mind, to let new programs enter into our mind, to just start questioning whether what I think is right is actually right? So once we go through that phase, we will get into the open heart phase as well. So this is where we open our heart, and this is where we start engaging our heart in feeling more than thinking. What feels right here? And that itself can be very hard for us people because we're very used to being in our minds, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes I tease people saying, well, actually, you're just using your body as a mean of transportation for your head, right? So we're very disconnected to our feelings many times, but we have to open up to that inner GPS as we go along. So the third and final phase of change is open your will. So you have to engage your willpower. You have to say yes to changing. You have to have an inner yes to changing. Otherwise, nothing will happen. And now on the way down here, we encounter inner voices. At the level of the open mind, we encounter an inner voice called voice of judgment. Now, the inner voice calling us out and saying, no, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't move into that new direction because this and that, right? Now, when we successfully go through that inner voice, we will reach the voice of cynicism on the heart level. That cynical voice in your inner mind telling you it's not safe and it's just for others and just, really not a good friend of yours, but it keeps talking, right? And then when we have finally made peace with that inner voice, we go into the voice of fear. And usually this is where people are terrified in all of their system. The anxiety level is really high. And they start questioning themselves whether they are at all in the process of change. But know that once you reach that level, you're very close to your breakthrough, because it's the last inner voice you will encounter. So just take notice that it's there, but don't listen to it. Just jump into what feels right. And what Sharma says is, this is compared to the little death. This is the death of the ego, because all of the downloading is your ego mind, right? So this is the death of you. This is where you're going to let go, in order for you to let come on the other hand side, where you plant the seed in this field of nothing, and this will grow, and then you can start harvesting. And you cannot throw a bridge across this to move from the downloading into the harvesting of the new. So this happens for each and every pattern of ours that we're breaking. Each and every pattern, each belief. Right? So my best advice for you would be to be patient with the slowest part of you. Because each pattern has been, brought to life to protect you. So it does take some time for it to not hang on the brake and instead go into the accelerator phase over here. But you have to die before you can let come. So be patient with the slowest part of you.
The slowest part of you to become the change that you want to be in your world takes these phases.
It's
fantastic.
It takes time.
It takes time.
Yes, it does. So be patient.
Be patient.
You can do it.
Yeah, and like I always say, and make sure you're enjoying the journey. Was this podcast of value for you? I sure hope so. If so, feel free to share the love and give us your generous review on iTunes or Stitcher. And remember that you can always go to runamagnus.com to find out more about the Changemakers and how we can help you drive the change you want to see in your world.